Hey, today on Free Field Training, we are looking at the Agilite K5 plate carrier and their AMAP 2 pack that kind of dovetails right into it. Agilite sent this stuff out to me for review, and so I'm going to be taking it down to the tabletop with you guys right now and showing you the features and what I like and what I don't like about it, and give you some of the fine details that you don't just get from the Agilite website. Then I'm going to hand this carrier off to a buddy of mine who is currently working on the SWAT team. That's why it's in green. That's his SWAT team's colors. And he's going to set it up for work, and we're going to come back probably in a couple weeks or a month and show you a video of how he ended up setting this carrier up to use at work. So without further ado, we're going to take you down to the tabletop and show you some of the options and features. So we're going to start off looking at the K5 plate carrier. One of the big standouts of this is quality of construction. These are made in Israel, and they're made for very, very hard use. The strap system is what really stands out to me. These straps that go over your shoulders, all the weight-bearing components of this go deep, deep, deep underneath the webbing and underneath the laser-cut Velcro, so that way your suspension system isn't just tacked to a corner of the plate carrier, which leaves you with something that could at some point rip over time and leave you with a carrier that's non-functional. This setup, the straps go under all of this and all the way down here underneath the cummerbund, and they're stitched along their entire length. So it'll be almost impossible to rip this strap off of the structure of the plate carrier. That's a good quality issue that I think more companies need to take advantage of. Put those straps all the way underneath everything, stitch them across the entire front of the plate carrier so that they can't get ripped or come loose. This quality construction goes all the way to things like the tabs down here. You've got your cummerbund, the front assembly for the cummerbund, and then you've got tabs on the bottom to pull them open. They even rubberize the tabs so that even at night you can feel where the tab is in order to put this on and off. So if you're in your car at 3 o'clock in the morning getting ready for a search warrant or whatever shenanigans you've got going on, you can get a hold of this and rip it open even in complete darkness and know where that cummerbund attachment point is at. So if we continue on with the suspension system here, this is the attachment for the cummerbund in the front. The back attachment is pretty much the same thing, only there's no elastic on these, so it just opens, put the end of the cummerbund down, and then flap this closed and it's locked in place. There's no bungee cords or a 550 cord or anything like that that holds it in, so it makes it a lot easier to set this whole thing up. Now what Agilite has on these is there's two methods to attach this depending on whether you want your plate carrier rock solid or you want to have a little bit of stretch. I'm sure you could do like this and do one side and the other, but I just set it up like this to show you the two different ways. So one way to attach this is to set up your cummerbund so that it stretches around from the back and completely locks in place. So it's got two pieces of Velcro, so if you Velcro this down like this, where the elastic is underneath the hook side Velcro, you get no stretch. It locks that plate carrier on you perfectly. And then if you have it set up the other way, where you've got just the first strip of Velcro in here, you then have a little bit of elastic stretch, a little bit of breathing room, maybe ½ an inch on either side. It's not a lot, and that elastic is surrounded by a very thick mesh, kind of like the same material that they use to line the inside of the carrier, so that way even if the elastic was to give, you're still going to have a solid attachment. Again, this suspension system is designed to not leave you out in the cold when you're operational. And even on these, there's a little area down here where you can grab a hold of the Velcro and rip it off, or there's a tab to make doing it easier. Taking a look at the back suspension system, again, it's much of the same thing. We've got our cummerbund on here, and you can see it's the same type of Velcro on and cummerbund down system that allows you to easily adjust this for your size. There isn't a huge process and instructions to set this up. In fact, they sent this with very minimal instructions on how to set it up, and it was very easy to figure out what to do. So look at the pocket for plates on here. The plates attach inside, just like everything else on here. There's a Velcro adjustment inside. So you've got a little tab that you flip out, and then your plates slide in. This is a 1 1/4 inch thick polyethylene plate, a single curve that I have shoved inside of here. So anything thinner or smaller than that should work just fine. They actually insert easier than they come out. So just shove the plate in, flip this over, and this is also your plate adjustment here. Depending on how deeply you push this inside is how tight and high the plate is going to be held in the carrier. Of course, the 3-bar cummerbund around the outside is a very thick construction, and it's doubled up. So this isn't one piece of material with things stitched to it. It's actually 2 separate pieces, both of them a very thick Cordura nylon that you can slide pouches onto and attach to. It also gives you a little extra ventilation. You can tell that they were very worried about people getting overheated using this gear between the open side cummerbund and all of the ventilating mesh that's in the back of the vest and on the shoulder straps. You're not going to get all burnt up in this thing and dehydrated, at least no more than you would with any other carrier. Now the pack itself has several features that are going to be interesting to a lot of people, and the one that sticks out to me the most is the integrated admin pouch. So there's this huge massive zipper up on top here with the zipper pull, and when you pull it open there is an enormous admin pouch in here. It goes down to right above the cummerbund and it goes over almost to each side of the plate carrier. So you could put your notepad or pens or chem sticks or whatever else you want in here, and it's a fairly decent sized space. Now obviously the space in this is going to depend on what type of plates you have in here. If you're the type of person that runs steel plates, I don't know why people would do that nowadays, but if you're the type of person that runs steel plates, you could slide them in here and have a whole lot of room in here, up and down laterally. If you use ceramic plates, you're going to have quite a bit of room. If you use polyethylene plates, you're going to have a little less, but these are actually a triple curve polyethylene plate in the front of this, and I still have plenty of room to be able to put a notepad and pens and pencils and all of that type of stuff up inside that top admin pouch. They have laser cut Velcro on the top, so it is cut for moly, so you could attach pouches over this, or you could put identification over the top of this, or name tapes, or whatever else you want to Velcro on there. But also this laser cut Velcro, it's not glued onto the surface of this like some cheaper brands out there. It's actually pretty heavily stitched down onto the carrier itself, so this isn't going to give loose even in extreme heat. It's a really interesting feature I wish a lot more companies would do. Also interesting to note is that all of these, unlike a lot of cheaper brands that I've seen, all of these loops are actually usable. You don't have a little half loop over here or a quarter loop at the end, or loops in the middle that aren't useful because they had to change the stitching down and it just kind of looks like you have all this moly. All of this moly, everywhere you see this, is spec'd so that you can actually put pouches on it, which is really nice, a really good sign of quality in the nylon market. So many places are destroying their gear by not making this moly actually useful. We're going to take the pack off real quick, take a look at the back of this. As you can see, the shoulder strap system that they have in place for this is designed so that you can run comm cords or run your hydration through the shoulder straps. It's also designed, again, so that you have lots of redundancy in this system, so you don't get left out in the cold with broken gear. But that is how easy it is to take the pack on and off from this, and you can also attach shoulder straps to the pack. We'll look at that more in a second. This is the back of the carrier. You again have the same Velcro that's been laser cut and then stitched down, and then there's a Velcro strip down the middle that's also laser cut. Then there's a Velcro strip down the middle that's also laser cut, and all of these are spec'd out properly so you can actually attach pouches to them. Now this Velcro strip down the middle is designed so you can interact with the pack here, which we're going to look at right now. So I'll move this out of the way, and we're going to talk about the pack. So the way this pack works is you can have it either attached directly to the carrier the way that we just saw, or you can attach shoulder straps, and these attach right through little buckles at the top. So you stick the toggle through, and you have backpack straps. So this oddly simple solution for straps is pretty genius because there really isn't anything here to break. There's no snaps or Velcro or weird stuff to come loose. You just have shoulder straps. So in the middle here, there's hook side Velcro, which attaches to this loop side Velcro down the middle of here and attaches it onto your plate carrier if that's how you want to run it. But if you want to run it as a backpack, you're not stuck with hook side Velcro on the back. You simply pull it open, fold down the sides, and now the back is slick with loop side Velcro down the middle. Although I think most people are going to opt to leave this attached to the plate carrier. If you do just wear this as a standalone pack, you now have an air channel down the middle of your back that this creates with a little padding on each side. Keep you a little cooler. The shoulder straps are also very high quality. You can see the stitching for all those front attachment points on the straps and how thick and padded these are, and the ventilation provided even in the strapping material. This is a really high quality bag. On the very front of it, this area in here is designed as a helmet carrier. You can carry a fairly large helmet in here, and it attaches just to through these two Fastex clips at the top. If you're not going to put a helmet in here, this also could be very useful for just shoving a jacket in, so you're not using up internal space with extra layers. There's another ID strip of Velcro right up top here with a tab if you want to attach something and hang it down inside of here. Like if you want to put your hydration bladder on the outside of the pack, save more space on the inside. And then there's an enormous zipper that runs all the way down to the bottom of the pack and just one big inside compartment here. You got an inside compartment. There's an area to compress down clothes or compress down hydration packs. There's a pouch in the top, in the front of this. As you can see by the construction side, this isn't a plastic lined interior material. This is a very high quality Cordura nylon. Then in here there's a little pouch to separate your water bladder from everything else if you want to, with a pull tab. And there's a couple of clips if you need to hang equipment inside, so they're at easy access. And then at the top here you can see the hole for your hydration. Right there. There's also a carry handle at the top of the pack that is very well constructed. It's looped over, stitched in, and the stitching once again goes all the way down onto the side of the pack. It's not just attached to the top where it's going to rip very easily. And there's one grommet at the bottom of the bag for drainage. So if you get water inside of here or your water bladder breaks, it won't fill up the bottom portion of the bag. It's got an area where it can leak out, or if you end up falling into water or getting rained on, it's going to air out. You're not going to get the mildew inside the pack. So let's talk pros and cons of the K5 plate carrier and the AMAP 2 pack, especially when used together. Pro, they're very comfortable even when used together, even when loaded up. The suspension system is very good. It works with a wide variety of plates, from very cheap steel to very expensive polyethylene, and they all fit as long as you get the right size carrier. Also a pro, there's different sizes for plates and for cummerbunds to make sure that it's going to fit you and the armor that you have or the armor that you expect to buy. A con, these are pretty expensive. I'm going to put a link and all that stuff down in the description. You can check it out. This is an expensive setup. It's meant for professional use. And at that price point, I expect this level of construction. I don't always expect this level of comfort. There are more expensive plate carriers out there and more expensive packs out there for sure. One thing that I expected at this price point that I didn't see was a lighter lined interior. So it would have been nice if instead of black for the inside of the admin pouch up front and inside of the backpack, they'd used a light gray or a lighter tan on the interior of the pack. That would have been fantastic, make it easier to find things, especially at night. And I also would have expected to see some of this hardware that's all black on this Ranger Green model be color keyed to the color of the carrier. So instead of a black zipper, a green zipper, instead of black toggles and black Fastex buckles, green Fastex buckles, green color keyed zippers, things like that. Especially at this price point, I would have liked to have seen that. Pro, lots of ventilation. It seems like it's set up, and it would make sense being out of Israel, it's set up for lots of ventilation. You've got the 3-bar cummerbund on the side that allows airflow through from under your armpits. You've got lots of very thick, very breathable mesh under everything, not just the front and the back, but also the shoulder pads up top. Another pro, everything is constructed in a fashion where even though it might take a little time to take apart and set up, It's very intuitive to take apart and set up, and you give the impression that this stuff is not going to break. And you can see areas like that V arrangement of the shoulder straps that comes all the way down to the middle where they set up. They said, hey, even under the worst possible circumstances, if this edge at the top starts breaking, it's not going to matter because it's stitched all the way down to the front. This isn't going to leave somebody stranded without their armor, which I think is a big, big positive. It's a reason, if nothing else, that's a reason alone to go with this carrier over another brand. Big pro with the backpack, being able to have the backpack and not have to decide up front whether you want a backpack with shoulder straps or you want one that stays attached to your plate carrier, because when you buy this pack, when you buy the AMAP 2, you get both options. You can attach it to the K5 carrier, or you can attach it with straps and be able to ditch it really fast. So that ability, whether you want to have the ability to ditch that backpack fast or have it attached onto you and know it's attached onto you, you get those options either way with this, and you don't have to make the decision up front like you do with some other brands. Big Pro comes in a bunch of different colors. Again, the link's down below. You can check them out, including your common black, tan, green, and then a couple camouflage colors right now that are available. Con, there's no quick release system on this, so you're not going to have a little pull tab where you pull it and it dumps loose. Pro, there's no quick release system. Anybody that's ever used one of those quick release systems, like me in the Midwest, like we don't have a whole lot of operational reason to have a quick release where we're going to get sunk down to the bottom of a lake or something. If we fall in, or a pool or something, if we fall in, not having a quick release system, but having a cummerbund system that allows you to ditch it fast if you have to is fantastic, because while you don't have that quick release safety mechanism, you have the ability to take it off, and you aren't going to have somebody pulling your quick release as a joke before you get set up and then having to fish all the wires and stuff back through like you get with some high-end carriers. So that's my pros and cons and my take and a quick overview of the K5 plate carrier and the pack that comes with it from Agilite. If you have any comments or questions, leave them down below. I'm looking forward to, in about a month, my buddy who is on the SWAT team that we're giving this off to. He's got a bunch of green pouches and ID and all of that, and he's going to set it up for work and give me a quick rundown on why he set it up that way and why he's using just a plate carrier. And we're going to do a separate video on just that, with this all set up with his gear and explaining why he has his gear set up the way he does and why he's using just a plate carrier for SWAT and what applications he has for that. So looking forward to it. Hope you guys are too. Until next week, you guys be safe. Take care of each other.
Hey, thanks for watching Free Field Training on YouTube. While you're here, check out one of our other videos, or head on over to Patreon and see how you can get your name put on the videos like these folks. Or you can check out my Instagram feed. There's a link down in the description where you can catch live streams of me rapping while drinking coffee and eating a donut. Later.